Can you click it from?
It looks like we're live.
Oh, hello. Welcome back to the House of Steel for today's episode of Can We Talk with me and my buddy Khal Onyx. Joining me from the Bronx. We are sitting here in this winter wonderland. Excited to have you all here. It's a big day in the house for me because for the first time in a long time, all four of the house dogs are here. Not only are Zeus and Titus here, and surprisingly not on camera, but Casey and Ginger are also here. And they are Boy Forge's dogs who are joining us. And we just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate, whether you celebrate. If you don't, we hope it's a wonderful winter season for you. And if you do, we hope that your celebrations are absolutely amazing. And it's always wonderful when your co-host walks away in the middle of things. But those of you who have watched before knows, you know that Khal is a little unpredictable. You want to say hi to the people, Khal?
Hi to the people. And I decided to cut the TV off so you would have my full attention.
Oh, well, that's very, very kind of you. And it seems like this, I might have to adjust this laptop a little bit in a second, so you'll excuse that technical difficulty. But for the first part of today's Can We Talk, we thought we'd do a holiday edition of questions, and so we're going to do that. And today's questions are going to be led by my boy, Forgy. Come on over, Forge, and join us today.
Today.
And Forge is not in the shot for some reason. So live TV, folks. There you go. That will be good enough for now. So Forge, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, sir. It's my pleasure. It's my first time. I'm a virgin.
That's not even quite true this time, as you were in Cigars 102.
Well, that's true.
So not quite a virgin in this case either. But it is wonderful to have you here with us today. Thank you for hosting this segment.
Thank you.
So let's jump right into it.
Well, I think the first question would go to Sir first. If you could choose to be on the sidelines with one football coach from any era, who would you choose?
You know, this is really hard. This is hard because there are so many coaches who I look to for leadership and direction. But I think I'm going to say it would be Notre Dame's current head football coach, Marcus Freeman, who is not only brilliant as far as the X's and O's and of coaching, but really doing an amazing job of molding these young men into men who can be amazing contributors to society, no matter what they do, if they go pro or if they don't. So I think now that I'm getting older and a little less connected to 18-year-olds, I think it would be great to watch him work.
Khal, what about you?
I would choose Mike Tomlin, coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe he's been coaching now 18. I think this is 18th season.
Yes.
And has never had a losing season.
Never had a losing season.
Yeah, I have to go with him because he clearly knows what he's doing. He knows how to motivate. He knows how to lead. He knows what he's doing. That's my guy.
Well, I think there will be questions coming up that I will understand, but that one was really Greek to me. You could have said any answer and I would have said sure.
Well, the one thing about both of those answers is it just shows the level of Black excellence rising when opportunities are being given, because both Marcus Freeman and
Mike Tomlin
are African-American coaches and both succeeding on stages where no one would have thought Mike Tomlin has been successful at times where they didn't expect his team to even be all right. This year, they had very low expectations, and they're leading their division. So,
wow.
Yeah, good answer.
Khal, what is the most meaningful gift you've received?
A girlfriend 117 years ago gave me a leather jacket. And I thought it was the hottest thing, the hottest gift, the sexiest gift I've ever received. I was about 23 and I never had a leather jacket of any kind before. So that was my first one. So I was absolutely fell in love with it. And it meant so much to me.
Wow. Look at you now.
Yeah, I mean, back then, they probably hadn't been using leather as fabric for long.
Right.
Yeah, at that time.
Sir, what about you?
Actually, it was a gift from Khal. 122 years ago, when we dated, Khal gave me a gumball machine in the shape of a football. And I used to be a constant gum chewer. So I was chewing all the time. And one day I realized I had never refilled the gumball machine, but it was always full. And I realized when he would come over, he would refill the gumball machine over and over and over. And it just felt like as long as I looked and there was gum in the gumball machine, that I knew he cared. And I just felt like that was the most wonderful, inexpensive way to make me behave.
It sounds really sweet. What happened to it?
What happened to who?
The sweet man.
Oh, I don't know. He was replaced.
So I have two things to say about that. So the first thing is, I thought you was going to mention the backpack I gave you.
No, that was a wonderful gift, which I still wear. It's still gorgeous.
And you know what? I'm going to keep the other one to myself for now.
Oh, okay.
All right, sir. If you could build a sub, describe them.
They would have to enjoy submitting for the pleasure of submitting. They would have to be a pain band. And they'd have to be open to trying new things constantly.
Yes, sir. Khal, what about you?
I'm pretty close to having the perfect sub. If we just could make him mute.
But they don't come with mute buttons. Because I'm like this all the time. Like, where is it?
And, oh my God.
And they don't.
That's hysterical. Khal, what was your favorite childhood gift?
A train set that my parents gave me. I must have been 10. And another gift about the same. They gave me this little toy robot. It couldn't have been more than 12 inches high, but the little dude walked around. I loved him. That was my buddy.
Sir, what about you?
I think maybe the year I got Voltron with all 5 lions. I was so stoked because my other friends might have gotten a lion, but they couldn't form like they all had to get together to fight my Voltron. And
they had to have a sleepover.
they had to all come together and form a union in order to defeat me. So I think the 5 lions was. I also didn't expect to get all 5 because my mom was not trying to spend 5 lion money.
I bet your father was.
My father is clearly the reason for the 5 lions. Clearly.
All right, here's a good one for each of you. But sir, first, if whiskey disappeared from the face of the earth, what's your new go-to?
My go-to is the edge of a cliff, and I jump off quickly because I don't. No, it would be gin. It would be gin. I'd have to be martinis and cigars.
Khal?
Battery acid.
You cooking?
I did quickly. And then vodka.
Khal, what is your favorite holiday side dish?
Wait, did you say vodka?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said battery acid.
That was
he-
first.
And then he said, and then vodka.
Oh, got it.
I didn't know that about vodka. Oh, okay, interesting.
Khal, what's your favorite side dish?
My
Holiday.
favorite. I don't have a favorite holiday side dish. Don't have one.
Favorite holiday side piece?
Used to be you.
And I became a main course. I think mine is stuffing. I think really good stuffing you can't be beat. And I never eat stuffing unless it's a holiday.
See why I used to be you?
Still a turkey though. Turkey.
Sure, if you had to submit to a dominant today, who would it be?
I honestly don't know if I have it in me to. Not that I don't know amazing dominants who could challenge me and who I trust. Submit to teaching, mentoring, I can name 8. Submit to authority, I don't know.
That's a good answer. And Khal, I probably should have referred to you at some point as my dirty uncle Khal instead of just Khal. So what does my dirty uncle have to say about that?
If there's someone that I'm going to have to be into this person in myriad of ways. It's going to have to be mentally, sexually, physically, all that stuff is going to emotionally is going to have to fall into place. And then after that, if I knew I could trust them and they would respect my safe word and my consent and all the negotiation, it could be anybody who fit those descriptions.
Do you think you'd have a hard time submitting?
I think if they fit those descriptions, it would be easier, but it would be challenging.
Well, it doesn't sound like either one of you would have an easy time.
Because you know my mouth is reckless.
Yes, they would also want you to have a mute button. But for me, it'd be my face that got me in trouble. Because I would never be verbally disrespectful. But my face would say everything my mouth was not. You know?
That's what
And so that would be where I got in trouble.
All right, Khal, you didn't have a favorite side dish. What's your favorite holiday dessert?
Apple pie.
Coconut pineapple cake or hummingbird cake.
Sir, what is the kinkiest gift you've ever received?
Well, I just got a sling,
That's true.
so probably the sling.
Khal, what about you?
It's a toss-up between the whip and the dildos. Take your pick.
I have been blessed to receive a number of wonderful kinky gifts.
Well, I think that's because people know how much you love them.
And keep those coming. I mean, there's
It keeps us coming.
the gift that keeps on giving.
Dirty Uncle, you have an unlimited budget at one kink store. Which kink store would that be, and what would you buy first?
Fort Trough, I'd buy a sling.
Sir?
I'm torn. Initially, I want to say FM leather, since I feel like I'm already spending an unlimited budget there. And if I did FM leather, the first thing that I would get is a leather opera cloak, which would be perfect for smoking cigars and being warm outside and in weather. But I would probably need to go. I don't know the store. I don't know a seller who sells it because it's out of my price range. But I would really love one of those bondage tables that had the edging component there, that had the popper station there for the subs, that had the nipple suction things. I would love just to be able to gimp somebody out and then torture them endlessly on one of these tables.
I don't know if I can read any more questions.
Well, you know where to shop.
Sir, in 2024, what percent of you was naughty and what percent of you was nuts?
Here comes the bullshit.
Sadly, a much higher percentage of me was nice. I wasn't nearly as naughty as I wanted to be in 2024, mostly because of my medical condition. I just haven't been up to it, and I've often wanted to be quite sadistic and wasn't up to it. So I would say in action, 75% nice, 25% naughty. In thoughts, the opposite.
Maybe 100% naughty.
Maybe, no, 75%. I think of you guys fondling often.
You mean you like to fondle us?
Often.
Khal, what about you?
Well, since the question was about the gear and not about what we were doing, I'm going to say since I'm a flight attendant, I've been 90% good and 10% naughty because I haven't punched anybody in the face. And I wanted to.
Khal, as a flight attendant, if you could spend the holiday anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Anywhere where my friends could join me and my beautiful daughter.
Sir, what about you?
I agree with that. I would love for it to be on some gorgeous Greek island. But I would want the house and family there with me. And that includes your beautiful daughter could also come. Because we might do legal representation.
We just might.
Oh boy. Let's see how honest you two are. Sir, what is the worst gift you've received?
When I was around 11, I had started putting on weight. And I wasn't heavy at that point, but I was starting to get heavy. And my aunt, my mother's sister, loved to remind me of it. And one Christmas I went over and she gave my sister like sweaters and skirts, like all this stuff. And I was like 11. You can give me toys. And she got me a pair of socks because she wasn't sure, and these were her words. She wasn't sure what size husky I was. It was at that moment my gay shade activated.
Did you have a quick retort?
I did in my head. My father was sitting there, so I wouldn't dare. And he was sitting there looking at me like, be grateful for those socks.
Wow.
And you know what's funny about that is the word husky.
Husky. I had never been called husky in my life. And she said I wasn't, and she didn't even have to throw that in. And first of all, she could have asked my mother my size. So that's just shit. But I didn't know what size husky you are. It's like
husky. We just don't know what size husky.
You're not in the beginning of husky. You're not a starter husky. You are a seasoned husky fat ass. So yeah.
Wow. Khal, what is your favorite holiday song?
Are we skipping worst gift?
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't answer that. I'm so sorry. What was the worst gift you ever received?
Right here.
Yellow white.
Right there.
I hope they're not watching.
I hope they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, if you're going somewhere and bringing someone a bottle as a gift, you should keep in mind the bottles that the person enjoys. And showing up with a bottle with a $5 sticker tells the host what you thought of their invitation in a way you may not expect.
Well, Khal, isn't Gallo the wine that was no wine should be drunk before it's time? I don't think it's time yet.
Well, they thought it was time.
Never time. Even in that dystopian universe where
peach.
whiskey doesn't exist, there's still not time.
Like you brought me sweet peach Gallo.
Oh.
Why didn't you just send me a card saying I hate you?
Why not just get arsenic? Like just kill me. Like you hate me. Just do the job. Just do the job.
All right, Khal, back to what is your favorite holiday song?
Is it Merry Christmas by Nat King Cole?
A Christmas song, I think, is the technical name, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And hard to go wrong with that. I have a different answer, but I love that answer. This Christmas, Donny Hathaway is my favorite.
Last question for each of you. Sir, first. On Christmas morning, you rush to open your gifts and find your fantasy celebrity, including athletes, tied up under the tree and consenting to do whatever you want for the next 24 hours. Who is it, and what would you do to them?
It would be Derrick Henry, running back for the Baltimore Ravens, and he would spend a large part of that day in my sling, having prostate orgasms, and then also, if he is ticklish, and that would be my hope, a little electro tickle torture.
Fun.
Yeah, good day.
Khal?
1995 Carlos Delgado. SteeleToe, you know it. We would spend the entire day switching back and forth, doing everything under the sun. And I mean everything. I don't flag yellow, but for him, I just might.
He was a specimen. A specimen. And when you get a baseball player in a baseball uniform, and all you see is booty, we used to get tickets right behind the first base line to be like, all right, thank you, Forgy.
Thank you,
for
sir.
hosting that segment.
Thank
and
you.
joining us.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I hope you all enjoy getting to know me and Khal a little bit better.
Now, for those, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, for those of you watching, if you want to follow along and submit your own answers or ask any questions, please, in the comments, please feel free to do so.
Yes,
we would love to hear what's on your mind.
Yeah, and especially if any of the questions that were brought up stimulated any questions on your part, we're also happy to answer those. Khal and I are open books. And some of those books you probably don't want to open, but they're open nonetheless. For us. So keeping in talks in the conversation about holidays, you know, Khal and I have known each other for a very long time. I had the benefit of meeting his family. He had the experience of meeting my family. I'm not going to color that one way or the other for him. But we've had the opportunities to spend a lot of holidays together and just to be in communication about what the holidays have been like. But just to talk to people who may be watching, Khal, what is your favorite thing about the holiday season? And we could throw that from Thanksgiving through New Year's. That's the time period.
Without getting too wordy, I love giving gifts. I love giving, and I love receiving gifts. So, but gifts are usually sent and received with love. So I would have to say it's the love.
You're a great gift giver too. You give gifts that show that you know the person, and also here's something that I know you're going to love that you may not have gotten for yourself, kind of gifts. So it's always good to get a gift from you, because the love is also inherent in that. And I think that might be my favorite part of the holiday season as well. For so many people, it is just a really joyful time that is fraught with tradition, and it's just really nice to see people enjoying that and being a little more kind. This is a time of year where people give and support charities and people in need, and that's always really exciting for me. What about traditions? Well, gift giving is a tradition for some, but is there a holiday tradition that you enjoy?
I try to, well, now, you know, growing up with the family and you know, mom and dad and the siblings and all that, just gathering and being with everybody. So now as a parent and a grandparent, it's just like trying to do the same thing, trying to be around the kids for the holiday, and it's more challenging these days because everybody now is dating and involved. So I want to go see this one's boyfriend's mom, and I want to see my fiance's family. So it's just it becomes quite a tool of navigation to try to get everybody together long enough to spend, a couple hours together. But just being together with people.
Yeah, I think I love that. I used to love every year going to see the tree at Rockefeller Center and then walking down Fifth Avenue when Macy's and Saks and everyone had just gorgeous window displays. They don't do it as much anymore. It's Saks across from the tree. They used to have amazing light displays going on. I remember the first year the Cartier store had what were they, Pumas climbing down. It's just so gorgeous. And it didn't matter how cold it was because of whiskey. It was still a great time just to walk around and be there, and not to be all Hallmark movie-ish. But Christmas in New York used to just be amazing.
That's true.
Store windows, even in the Village, you could walk up and down Bleecker Street and all of those places and just see amazing displays. I love that. I really used to love that.
You saw some amazing displays on Christopher Street.
All year round. And I won't make that joke because Facebook will block us. But many amazing displays. And you were talking about getting together with people and family and things of that nature. And for many people, that's not really as much of an option because of many different reasons. I know my family and I haven't really been close since probably 2014, around 2014. And so that was a time where I had to really break from the usual traditions, Christmas at my mom's house, and start espousing my own new traditions, but also traditions with my chosen family. And that has been something that I never expected. And I think I might have mentioned in a previous chat that when I was outed, one of the conversations I had with my mom was that when I got older, I'd be alone. And I told her that wouldn't be the case, that as long as I put love into the world, I would get it back. And that was a prophecy I rejected. And I can honestly say to this point, I don't think I've felt less alone than I do now. And it's not just the house; it's all of the extended family, people I consider family, who I love and cherish, who are also part of that and made it really a wonderful time. But similar to you, even just with the house, with Reese in Western New York and Rochester and Ogun in Atlanta, it's not always easy to see people. And then people have their own biological units that they want to see, and it is hard to get everybody together. So when you are able to, it's like a really magical moment. This year, most of the house is going to be here on the 22nd of December, and that's when we're going to do our family celebration. And everybody's not going to be able to be a part of that. But it will be nice to have as many as will be here to be a part of that, because it really is about the people.
It really is.
That's the thing that really makes it special. And that might just be, I don't know if that's a perspective I have now because I've gotten older, or if it's just, this is what life is really about. But either way, that's become the thing that I love the most about the holidays. And one tradition that I've done for the last 8 years, and I'm not doing it this year, mostly because of my health, is on Christmas, I would always host a dinner. And if I knew anyone who didn't have somewhere to go, you were welcome at my house for dinner. And I would always buy 5 gifts that were pretty much unisex and anyone could enjoy, just to have them under the tree so that everyone had something to open that day. And I felt like the greatest gift that you could give someone really is the gift of togetherness as part of that whole celebration, and helping people to not feel alone. And that's something that many people feel at this time of year, unfortunately.
So here's something that I just realized.
Mm-hmm.
With our time dating and as friends, outside of family, I've spent more Christmases with you than anyone else.
Which means that somehow you're on the nice list.
And on the 22nd, I will not be there.
Will not.
Because it's my grandson's birthday party. He's turning 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be with him.
Yes, and happy birthday to him. And that is exactly where you should be that day. You will be missed. It will not be the same without you. Forge also won't be here because he's spurning us for his actual family, who he loves and cherishes, and who love and cherish him. And we wish him a wonderful time with them. That's going to be amazing for him. Some very wonderful people in his family that he's going to be able to spend time with. But it's important, I think, for us to acknowledge, as a community of people who are often disconnected forcefully from our biological families, based on our sexuality or other issues that could arise. Even just being a kinky BDSM person could be the thing that kind of keeps you separate from your family. This is a time of year that is hard for many people, especially if you've recently lost a loved one. There's nothing harder than the first Christmas without someone who mattered to you. I know Christmases for me drastically changed when my father passed when I was 19. The first couple after that, everybody was working to make it feel the same, but there's just a void that can't be filled when you're in that situation. And my father was anybody who's ever heard me talk about my father knows that he was the person in my life that I've revered the most. I most want to emulate. He was an amazing person. I am still working to be the wonderful person who he was. Not only for me, but my friends as well, a number of which didn't have a father in their home. And there would be nights I would come home and be like, "Where's Dad?" And he was at one of my friends' football games or basketball games or something, because he knew they didn't have anybody in the audience for them. And he would do a thing every year where somehow, by the time we went to bed on Christmas Eve and we woke up, the entire living room and dining room of our house would be cleared of furniture. And the living room was my sister's gift room, and the dining room was my gift room. And he would set things up where, like, when I got the Voltron, I woke up and the 5 lions were attacking a set of dinosaurs that I also received in battle mode. And when I would get spaceships from Star Wars and things, they'd be hung from the ceiling in battle mode. And like all kind of things like that. He just really took the time to make it a wow experience. When my sister got to the point where she didn't have dolls anymore for him to set up, I'll never forget the first year he set up the living room. She got mostly clothes. And he set up the living room like a little boutique. Like all of her new clothes were hanging on racks for her to kind of go through. And that kind of magic is really hard to replace. And so, especially at the point where and that's a way that you can really make the holiday special without a lot even spending any more money. Because a lot of people, feel like if I don't have the money to buy gifts, I shouldn't participate in Christmas, when it's really your presence that's the gift. There are many people. My best friend growing up, he and his mom were Muslim, and she ended up marrying an imam and they did not celebrate Christmas. And so trying to find ways to even include them we know you don't celebrate this holiday, but we want to take this moment to honor the friendship you provide, and everything was really wonderful. And my father made a deal with his mom. His name was Billy. Made a deal with his mom that we could give him a couple of gifts on the 26th. So it wasn't a Christmas gift. It was just, here's a friendship day. That was really wonderful. And when I broke with my family, I made the decision that I really wanted to create new traditions. And the holiday dinner was one. But it's like, just because my old traditions don't honor the relationship I had with my biological family, it doesn't mean that there can't be wonderful traditions. And what I found was a lot of agency in being able to form those new traditions and create them for myself, and to take the things that I love about the holidays and apply them to holidays moving forward. And I realize now that's not much different than what people do, like you yourself, Khal. Now, you're at a point where your parents have passed, your siblings have families, as you mentioned, and people have fiancés and boyfriends, and nieces and nephews are all over the place. But you still have to recreate traditions in order to keep the things that are important. And you identify the things that are important to you is the time. So there is still a matter of creating your own tradition, which gives you a real sense of agency over this time of year. And it doesn't have to look like it used to look in order for it to still be something that's wonderful, that you can celebrate.
Wow. I don't know where to go. You definitely have to create your own traditions, and like you said, with your own people, your chosen family. Quite honestly, sometimes you may not have another choice. So that's what's required. And you find when you do it, it's almost needed, I would say, just to be able to have that support system, those friends, those people that you love, that you care for. It's a wonderful thing to hang out at your place on Christmas and Thanksgiving. I was with you guys last year, and it was just it's just really nice. Everybody kicks in. Everybody who can cook cooks, and it's just a beautiful thing. Uh, but I'm now with the being the sir with a boy and uh, looking to pick up a few more hint. No, uh, I'm
I'm
looking.
happy to say it'll after Christmas if you want to check that.
I'm looking to create traditions now with the boy. Uh, Unless I'm with some really good people, I don't like being like with a crowd of 50, 60 people, and nothing would irk me more right now than walking down to Rockefeller Center and seeing a tree this time of year with all those tourists. Oh my goodness, I'd become a serial killer. Ooh, that's too much for me. I'd rather sit home, sip on a nice whiskey bourbon or smoke a cigar. But come Christmas Eve, I always like to open gifts. Oh, I'm sorry, open a gift on Christmas Eve. It's been a thing for me forever. Like you open one gift on Christmas Eve, and it just for me it just starts. It's a wonderful start to the giving and receiving, and I really love that. So that's one of the traditions I'm definitely going to pick up on this year because my boy gets here tomorrow. He found a way to steal a few more days, so he's actually coming tomorrow. So the abuse, I'm sorry, the love starts tomorrow. There'll be no abuse.
That is absolutely wonderful, and we need to make sure that I get some time with my nephew while he's here in town, and that you're not selfish with his time again this time, because love should be shared with family,
like an STD.
But let's talk about some ways that you can extend that love to other people. Just kind of keeping the conversation about like being a community where this time of year it can be, for some people, traumatic, and for others triggering, and for some just a sad time of year. What are some ways that we can incorporate those people in the process of feeling the love at this time of year?
You can do simple things like postcards, Christmas cards, text messages, phone calls, even like video calls. Be like, hey, I'm just calling to check on you and to wish you a happy holiday. And the wonderful thing about a video call is you actually can see the person and you kind of could read their face and know what they're going through. And if you see they need more than that, and if possible, be like, look, dinner's here. Come on over.
Mm-hmm.
Come on over. Have dinner with me and mine this year. I'm not gonna let you be alone. Because I don't let people I love be alone on Christmas unless they want to be alone.
Right. And I think that's so important. And the thing is, when you are at a point where you can say, I think one of the greatest gifts is also just to let people know what they mean to you. Like, you have been this kind of friend to me. I value you for this. It is something that many times people really need to hear. We don't always understand what it is about us that people appreciate or people are loving. And even just a call to say, hey, you know what? I wanted to wish you a happy holiday and check in and to let you know that this year you have been this for me, and that's made my life better. And I really appreciate it, and I really want to build on that in the coming year. I think sometimes that is enough to really change somebody's perception about that time of year and help them understand that they are valued and important and they make a difference and they bring joy and they deserve it. And I think that's something that is absolutely amazing to do. But also, invitations don't have to only be dinner. They could be, hey, let's meet up for coffee. Let's, especially if you have time off, let's meet up for a cocktail. Let's have a cigar. Let's catch a movie. Let's do little things. And movies can be Netflix or AMC Theater. All of those things are excellent ways. I remember as recently as a couple years ago, but several times over the last few years, I would receive gift certificates from people where it's like, this is a gift certificate for a drink. I'm going to buy you a drink and we're going to go out and have this, or dinner, or a hug, or an open conversation about anything you want to talk about. And those having that, when I would be looking through them, even more than feeling like I'm going to cash it in, it was just knowing this person is offering me their time, their attention, their resources, and they're wanting me to know that how much I matter to them. And that is an amazing gift that I think everybody can appreciate at this time of year.
I like that. I like that. One of the things that we always try to do when we communicate with people is we're always intentional. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that neither one of us will do would be like, hey, come by anytime. What the hell does that ever mean? Because if we come by anytime, we're going to talk about you for coming by without calling.
Or you might get here and Zeus and Titus are here.
And nobody's there.
And nobody else is here. So
yeah. What we always do be like, look, on Saturday the 20th, I'm hosting. I'd like you to be there. That's how you be intentional. And that's how people know you're thinking about them and you actually want them around. So be intentional when you're doing things and actually make efforts so people know that you care and that they want you to be part of their circle on any day, anytime.
Yeah, that is really important. And that's the thing that's most important during this holiday season. And I just want to encourage everyone, please reach out to the people you love and make sure that they know you love them. They may need to hear that more than you could ever imagine. Give people space to feel whatever they're feeling. If they're not feeling holly jolly Christmas, it's fine. What are you feeling? And, at this point, I'm happy to feel that with you, or happy to be a part in helping you to feel differently if you are open to that or ready for that. And I think that is probably the greatest gift that you could give anybody at this time of year. And it's so important to, in a community of people, our communities are so reviled, especially this year, post-election, with the new administration coming in, where so many people are concerned about what the future holds. This is really a time for us to be a loving, affirming community for each other, so that people know you're not in this alone. And together we're stronger. One of the symbols on our house crest is in Wisconsin, which is the chain link, which symbolizes the community that, one, we're linked together as a community, and that the community is only as strong as its weakest link. And so if we are taking care of people when they're the weakest, then we are making our community even stronger. And I think that is extraordinarily important. So this is our last broadcast for the year for 2024. We are excited about some of the things we're going to talk about in 2025. Very interested if people have suggestions about things that they would like to learn about or talk about. Feel free to let us know. You can send a message to the House of Steel page, or to me, or to Khal directly, and we'd be happy to incorporate that into future conversations. Please keep an eye out. You will start to see events and dates filling up as the House gets our calendar for education and fireside chat topics coming up. Remember, you can always look back on the House of Steel Facebook page, which is, I believe, HOF Steel, STEELE, on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube, and know when future things are coming up. But on our YouTube page and our House of Steel page, all of our old chats and classes are there for you to look at your convenience. And now I'm going to invite my alpha boy and the producer of today's segment in to Boy Ogun. Hey, Boy Ogun.
Hello.
Joining us from Atlanta, just to see if there are any questions or comments that we missed and should address before we log off.
Yes, sir. So we actually do have a couple of questions. Our first question is from Craig Jewel Onyx, and he asked, if you could receive any adult toy for Christmas, what toy would you want?
Is that directed at both of us?
That is directed at both of you, yes.
I'm thinking. So, Khal, if you want to go ahead, go ahead.
What toy would I want? I'll say a fuck bench. Or better yet, a fuck machine.
Okay. Sir?
I would say I am leaning much more deeply into edge play and knife play. So some of those implements would be nice. But fire play is also a kink that I want to learn and embrace in 2025. And I've already invested in the blankets. But fire play things I think would be really great for me to keep moving forward in my own kink development.
Okay, sir. So we have another question from Russell. And Russell asks, where can I purchase quality leather gear? I live in New York City. Sir and Uncle Khal, thoughts on that one?
Well, you know, my answer is always contact Felix at FM Leather, fmleather.com. He is located in Queens. Felix has 90% of my leather closet is Felix. He does an amazing job taking care of you, making sure everything fits perfectly, is beautiful. He will walk you through, he'll take his time to really understand your style. He does amazing work, and the quality of his leather is excellent. And when you purchase from him, that's something you'll be able to have for a good amount of time to come. So if you're in New York City, I always say, go see Felix. His quality of the experience and the leather, in my opinion, are unbeatable.
I definitely agree. Felix owns half of my liver and all of my spleen. So yes, yes. I hope I can pay him before he needs either one of them.
Right. Yeah, and you know that liver is half off.
Because it's not functional.
Based on usage. So, but yeah, Russell, if you have a chance, fmleather.com. And you can also look for him on Facebook and send him a message at fmleather to get in touch with him.
And Sir and Uncle Khal, we have one final question from Trevor. And Trevor asks, how do you establish a more open community for people who don't know enough about leather because they are autistic?
First, hello, Trevor. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I would say for not specifically for autistic people, but for all people. There are a number of people in our community who deal with different levels of ability and have different challenges, some of them physical, some of them emotional even. And all of those are important to be intentional about when you're, if you really want to have a vibrant, healthy community. And there's absolutely no reason that a person who is autistic or has a developmental disability, or now I'm dealing with a muscular condition that started a couple years ago for me. One of my boys has a vision impairment and still has a lot to contribute to the community. Lots of knowledge, lots of interest, just an amazing, kinky folks. And so I think the first thing is just to go in with an open mind of, asking the questions. What is it that you, asking first, what do you need in order for you to be comfortable in this situation and in order to move forward? Not enough times, I think a lot of times we prescribe things for people instead of just asking that simple question. What is it that you need? Sometimes it's as simple as walk in this event with me. Can I spend time with you while you're at this event so I'm not feeling alone? Introducing people to other people with like interests. And then checking in to make sure, afterwards, how was the experience for you? What would make it better? And really understanding, like, what is it that you need that I may be able to provide? Also with the understanding that you may not be able to provide everything that person needs. And you don't have to provide everything any individual needs. But sometimes just knowing that, there are people who value me and the contribution I can bring is enough to keep people coming back. And knowing that I have a resource in the community who understands my value helps them to connect with other people who can also be a part of that. So to me, I think the most important thing is having an open mind, asking direct questions, and being prepared to hear the answer to the real answer to those questions, and then to acknowledge what it is that you can do is the most important.
Thank you, sir.
I would say, Trevor, I don't know to what level your autism impacts your daily living, but if you can get out, come to where we are. Come to when we're out. Come join us. You know how to find SteeleToe. I'm on Facebook. Call Onyx. Hit me up, and I'm happy to take you around and hang out with you. But if you can do that, we can expose you and get you into the community on a broader level than you may be right now. I personally have absolutely no problem doing that. when we first started hanging out at the Eagle with Onyx, I met a gentleman who was completely, he was quadriplegic. He couldn't talk, but the woman that brought him to the Eagle, she knew how to communicate with him, and he conveyed to her that he liked me, so he became my little buddy. And he couldn't talk, but it was just a little relationship we had, and I'm really of the relationships I let go in life. I'm sorry I lost that one, because it was just kind of cool knowing that even with his condition, he was still real to me, and he was still a person, and he was just a great guy, and I'm sure you are too. So find out where we are, when we are, and come hang out with us.
All right, sir. And Uncle Khal, so it looks like we don't have any other questions remaining. I think that was the final one.
Okay. Well, then with that, we will thank you all for joining us. If you're watching live or if you're watching a replay, we wish you a wonderful holiday season. However you celebrate, wherever you celebrate, we hope that it's wonderful and full of joy. And you can always continue to reach out to us at the house via the methods that I brought up earlier, our Facebook page, our YouTube page, our Instagram page, and we would love to be connected. And with that, we will wish you all a wonderful holiday and look forward to seeing you all in 2025.
Have a great holiday. I hope you get everything that you wish for, and I hope you get none of the things you deserve. Especially SteeleToe.
All right. Well, thank you, Krampus. And thank you, Boy Ogun and Boy Forge, for joining us today on today's broadcast. And
Ogun, when are we going to see you?
Oh, you'll expect me on December the 22nd.
22nd.
Yes.
I'm going to try my best to see you. Okay, nephew?
Yes, indeed, Unc.
all right. Have a wonderful day.
Take care, everybody.